Ralph, it's obviously been a rather quiet summer for Southampton when it comes to transfers and players into the club. You've signed 2 new players at the moment. The window is obviously looming now, a week on Monday. How confident are you can get the players that you want in, or if alternatively you're happy with the squad you have at your disposal now? If the window was to shut today, would you still be happy that you had a competitive squad?
No, I wouldn't, but I know that we will get players in.
How many more players do you think you anticipate? I didn't expect a short answer there. How many more players do you expect to get into the club between now and a week on Monday?
Yeah, I mean, now comes the moment. I think where some good opportunities are coming up, maybe also for us. Yeah, the players was our number one choice. I think was not so easy for us to get them, but I think there are some other alternatives where we are still keen when they're coming to us, and if it's on loan or permanent, anyway, I think we know that we need a few ones, and 1 or 2 players minimum we must get, maybe 3.
And in terms of potential departures, there's been a lot spoken about Wesley Hood. Is there any developments on his potential departure from the club?
So far, nothing is finalized. So as long as this is not happening, it's too early to speak about that. But he's one of the players who will leave our club, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we will go to Jonathan at Premier League.
Hi, Ralph. Just fitness-wise and team news ahead of the Burnley match. What's the update, Ralph?
In the moment, we have with Reddy still out with an injury, with an ankle injury. Everybody else can train with us. We had a few issues after the game. Took us a little bit longer for one or the other player to recover, but now everybody's on the pitch. Everybody was training today. We had some good sessions this week. And with this squad, we go to the game against Burnley.
Given what you've talked about it in previous weeks about the short pre-season, the size of your squad, also what happened in the second half against Tottenham, Ralph, are you going to have to adjust your demands a little bit on these players in the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think the end of last season seemed us to be further in our development, but now after the break, we are absolutely not on the same level in the moment. Although I must say the first half against Tottenham was a little bit going in this direction, what we played at the end of last season. And yeah, it's on us to keep it longer than 45 minutes. In the moment, we are not able to push for 90 minutes. If we are in this position, then I'm sure we can also take again good results, but we have to. We have a difficult game now on the weekend, and we must show that we are longer compatible like in the last games.
Yeah, how dangerous are Burnley, and why do they have such a good record against Southampton, do you think, particularly at Turf Moor?
I remember 2 games. The first one, we were once winning until I think the overtime, and then conceded a penalty with VR. Would not happen again, I think. So it was a very good game from our side. And the second one was last season, the first game of the season, and we had 60 good minutes, and then conceded 3 easy goals. It's a tough game, a very good organized opponent with a clear plan, a very clear philosophy, and I really like what they play. I really like how they are committed, and I think Sean Dyche does a fantastic job there. We must show that we are also able. I think last home game we had a chance to win, but finally couldn't make it, and we have to do it better than in the last game against them, and this is the plan for the weekend.
Thanks, Ralph.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Adam Blackmore.
Ralph, hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Adam.
Nice to speak to you. Ralph, when you've looked back at the second half last Sunday, you've obviously from the outside taken criticism as a team and you for the tactics last Sunday, everyone talking about the high line and it being wrong and so on. When you've analysed it, what have you decided? If your team aren't at a level where they can press for 90 minutes, should they have dropped deeper as the game went on and defended a different way, or was it individual mistakes?
Like always, it's a little bit too easy to say a high line, and that's the reason why. No, the first thing I must say, that the line wasn't that high, to be honest, especially not in the second half. In the first half, we had a few scenes where we played on offside, and in the moment it's difficult to play on offside because the linesmen never raise their arm, and then you have to run and defend it until the end, and then you see if it's offside or not. This is the problem in the moment with the VR, that they don't raise their arm anymore, so it makes it difficult to play on offside at the moment. Even if it's clear offside, they don't raise the flag anymore. So we have to know this, and this is a little bit of an issue for this rule. We had one scene in the second half where it was no offside, and then we had a counter-attack, and suddenly they stopped the game for being offside. So it was a little bit strange, but okay, we can adapt this, no problem. We never spoke about stopping running if somebody runs deep or not covering the other one. This is a behavior that has nothing to do with a high line or a deep line. You have to do this run, and if you let some 2 times, 3 times running in this gap and don't follow, yeah, then it's definitely difficult to defend against such an opponent. We did much better in the first half. We were much better committed. And of some reasons, when you're then 1 down or 2 down, then you get more risk. And then you even invest more in playing in front, and then you concede counter-attack goals. So it's never that easy. You know this, I think. You're long enough in the football that it's not one reason why you lose a game. But when you make too many mistakes and too many automatism then are not working anymore, then it looks like our game in the second half against Tottenham, against a good team with good quality in front.
So what's been the emphasis in training this week ahead of another tough game at Turf Moor?
Yeah, our defensive behavior was sure something we were working on, and we have the time now this week to show the guys, to convince them, to be critical. I think this was always the way we went. We were never stopping working on our behaviors and on our quality and our performance. And yeah, hopefully we can see immediately on the weekend that we are not so easy to create chances against us.
Just finally, the club haven't beaten Burnley since 2016, home or away. I spoke to Oriol Romeu about it this week, and he said they're a difficult team to, effectively saying, impose yourselves on. You know, you have to impose yourselves on them somehow, but they're a very strong side, mentally and physically. What's the harder bit, matching them physically, or actually being strong enough in your mind to play your own game and not be affected by theirs?
No, I think even the best teams get affected by their game because it's simply and clear, and a good first touch ball behind the last lines cause everybody problems. So you have to adapt your game to this. And I think we have also some qualities in our game that can hurt them. I think we showed it in the last game that we had good chances to score. We had a fantastic goal from Ings after counter pressing. So we have to pay attention on every part of our game. And if we do a good performance in any part, I think then we have definitely the quality to win also against Burnley the first time. And it's something that is we want to show ourselves that we are further in our development that in the last season, and this is the goal for the weekend. And I think it's a good game to come up for us because we know about the difficult, and we go there and want to show up.
Thanks very much, Ralph. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go to James at TalkSport.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Ralph, heading into this season, there was quite a lot of optimism amongst the club and amongst the fans about what may be possible after what was a really good end to last season. Is that optimism still there?
I don't know. I don't have this view on a season. I think I know always that it's not automatically ending a season good, or that you start the next good. So we had a very difficult preseason. So it's not really surprising that we in the moment don't play our best football, to be honest. It's not really something I expected, to be honest. We had some good moments in the last game where we showed that we can do it much better. I think the first half against Tottenham was a very strong one. Conceded a very stupid goal right before the halftime. I think we are against the ball and with the ball, not yet this team what we have been last season in the end. But there are some reasons why we are not so good in the moment, and we know that we are a team. We only win games if we run more, if we fight more, if we play better football than we do it in the moment, and then we have a chance. And so the optimism is maybe there because we showed for these 7 unbeaten games, then we can really be a strong side. But it's not something you have forever. So you have to work always for this. And in the moment, we are not so far in our development that we thought.
And how long do you think it will take you to get the squad to where you want to be in regards to that? Are there any fears that the tough start to last season may be repeated this season? I know it's only been 2 games.
Yeah. We know that it is a very long season, and we also know that we should have, or when it's a more comfortable start if you win immediately. But I think we know the situation, and we know what is about coming up after a not so good start, and this is the reason why we take every game now as an important chance for getting better. And the next one on Saturday is exactly such a chance for us to show up against a team. We have only taken 1 point since I'm here, and we know that we have won against them for a long time, but every record can come to an end. And if we do what we can do best, I think then we have a big chance to win against them.
And finally, from me, you said earlier that you know you were going to get players in before the end of the transfer window. But are there any regrets about sanctioning some of the moves, especially midfielders leaving the club either on loan or on permanent deals, before you had players in the door ahead of this season?
Yeah, but if you speak about Pierre Højbjerg, there was no alternative. He had 1 more year left. Today in modern football, 1 more year contract is nearly nothing. So you know that it's sometimes difficult to put a big pressure on a player or on a higher transfer value. On the other side, players are leaving us where we are convinced that they don't help us to make the next step to an even better Premier League team. If you want to make the step, you need money. This is also nothing new, I think. And the one options cost a lot of money, and it's sometimes a little bit frustrating if you see them when playing for other teams. You know them, but you don't get them because you have more limits than other teams or other clubs. But then we have to bring other players in, and we maybe have then players that take a little bit longer to help us to make the next step. But I'm sure we will get players that help us to make the next step, and for this we are working.
Thanks, Ralph. Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, James. We'll go to Jim at PA.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah, hi. Ralph, with the record at Burnley, does it make it any easier that you're going to be going there with no fans at Turf Moor and places like this season for the foreseeable future? Or do you not see it that way?
No, don't see it that way because I don't think that the fans had such a big impact in the last 2 games there. In the first, sure not, because we played very well there. We were close to a win. And the second one also, but was not a big problem. We had more problem with the wind than with the fans, to be honest, in this game. So when I remember the first goal, but no, anyway, it's never easy there. A lot of teams are struggling there, and I think this is not a coincidence that they have been successful in last time in the Premier League. They're good organized, even if they have some injury problems. We know how tough it is, but we are also not so bad. I know that we are better than we have shown in the last 3 games. And this is what we are focusing on. We know that we can play better, that we can play calmer, that we can play more efficient. We had a lot of chances in the last games where we didn't score. I think we have games where we were more clinical last season, and this would help us absolutely to. Normally in the halftime against Tottenham, it must stand 2-3-0 for us, or like that, and we didn't do it. And I think it's also a goal for the next games.
Is it just now then that the squad have to focus on what you did well at Project Restart rather than what hasn't gone so well since you started again this season?
I think we must be also honest what we haven't done well. It's the only way to make it better. If you think you do everything all right and you lose 5-1, it's something is not right, I think. So we must be critical, yes, but also see that we had some moments in the game where we definitely played it well, scored a good goal, and this was important also for Ings, and Shea had also a few big chances where we really played fantastic to create these chances. And every time we play quick and direct, when we are strong, the defending stuff was the big topic. I spoke about that. It was too easy how we concede the goals, and these are a few things we had to work on, and this is what we have to do better, and then we have a bigger chance to take something.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim. We'll move on to the section for 10:30 this evening. And we'll start with Dan at The Athletic.
Where must I look now?
Thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon, Ralph.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. And you?
Very well, thank you. One thing I've noticed in the 3 games I've seen this season is that Alex McCarthy tends to come out of his box a little bit more. Against Brentford, we saw that. Against Tottenham, he was perhaps a bit more hesitant. He'd run and then perhaps go back, which I think you were quite frustrated with on the sideline. How do you drill that into a goalkeeper who isn't used to playing that way?
You're absolutely right. I was frustrated by the first goal. I think it was a tough ball. I think he made a good progress in the summer in this way to play. He's much more on the jump now, but the final decisions to take is not easy for a goalkeeper in this moment. And I think we have a very, very hardworking goalkeeper coach, and I think to switch a goalkeeper who's not used to play that high, it's not such an easy job, I think. But if you want to make the next step in our game, I think it was important to bring him in this way to play football. With the ball, I must say, he made a big development. We try to use him always in our rondos and in our game with the ball as an important field player. We were last time discussing about the shape, how in football the tactic were changing on the last decades. And we spoke about the libero. It was earlier there, and in the moment, I think that the goalkeeper is kind of a libero in the moment. And in every modern football club, I think you can see that they are playing higher and higher, and this is the key, to be honest.
Do you think it's almost a psychological thing with Alex in terms of trying to train himself to remember to come out and sweep the ball away and be comfortable at his feet?
Everything is a training thing, because when it's not automatically there, you have to work on this, and this is what we do every day, and definitely also the goalkeeper.
And just finally from me on the goalkeepers, you've obviously got 3. They're all individually good at different things. Would it be fair to say that Angus would perhaps be the most natural with the ball at his feet? I mean, what's the latest on his situation?
This is right, because he went through all the English academies, and there it's now a different development of the goalkeepers anyway. They learn different things, like Fraser Foster, Alex McCarthy maybe. I think we have 3 goalkeepers with different qualities, and in the moment I'm very happy with Alex. I think he made a good progress, and hopefully it goes on.
Thank you, Ralph. Good luck for the weekend.
Okay, we'll go to Tom Crocker at The Echo.
Ralph.
Yeah.
Hi. Just the one from me today. I mean, I was speaking to Oriol Romeo this week, and he said he's been encouraged that there seems to be a real determination within the squad this week to put things right. Is that something you've sensed? What's the mood you've sensed this week? Does it feel like everyone's really keen to put things right from last weekend?
Yeah, I think meanwhile the players know me, that when I see a game like this on the weekend, I don't try to be emotional and blame them for something, because we all did not the best job, I think, and we must adapt a few things. And this is the way we work since I'm here now. And to show the reaction on this weekend, I think, is the way we want to go. And Ori is also on the weekend was not on his best level, like a few other players also. And I'm sure we can play much better. And this is the goal. And therefore we were working. And I think that the guys are meanwhile very, very self-critical. They were a little bit frustrated after the game because it was a very clear result, and it didn't feel that clear in the beginning. Nobody thought that we would lose against Tottenham 5-1, but you see how quick it goes when you're not sticking to what we normally want to do, and then it looks like a result that is a little bit too high maybe, but was also deserved in this because they had a lot of chances. Yeah, that's the moment, and in this situation we must change a few things, and we try to do it, and I think hopefully we can see it on the weekend.
Just quickly following on that, do you think that a test like Burnley is going to be a real physical battle? Might be the perfect thing. The guys know they're going to have to get there and fight for everything they're going to get the weekend.
Yeah, every Premier League game is also a physical battle, so it doesn't matter who you play against. There's quality all around in any side. And yeah, we also have quality, and for me it's important that we show what we can do, and I think we can play much better than we did. As I said, in the last game, the first 45 minutes, you could a little bit feel what we can play, and for what football we are standing for, and I think this is the goal for the weekend.
Perfect. Thank you, Ralph. Best of luck for the weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll go to John West.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Can I ask you about what you're saying about the transfers? What's very interesting. Is it fair to say that Southampton, being a medium-sized fish in a big pool, it's very, very, very difficult to get over the bigger fish for the number one targets? And there comes a point where you have to go, all right, number 3, number 4. Can you remember the last time you did get your number one target? Does it happen enough to make you happy?
We'll never get the number one target, or it's difficult to say number one target. What is the number one target? I mean, I can tell you a few number one targets, but this is not serious. Yeah? So, in our shop where we have to look, we can when we select players, we are immediately looking if it's possible or not, or if there is any chance. If there's any chance, then it's very often only a short slot where we can get them, because as soon as other clubs are coming on the table, that it's very difficult for us. We know this, but this is nothing new. Doesn't make it easier for us, but not less interesting. We find we might have to find sometimes the jewelers nobody is looking at, and if you do this, then you have a chance to make the next step. And anyway, I'm sure that in the last 2 weeks from the transfer window now, we will get a few chances of getting players we normally don't get, and then maybe we have waited for the right moment.
And you say that they maybe take a bit more time to help you get where you want to be. Does that mean you have to help them on the training ground and get your ideas across?
I will speak about different opportunities to get better. The easiest and the most likely is to buy new players and good players, and they help you immediately. This can help you to get the big step. And the other way is to develop your game until you reach some limits. I don't think that you can play much better than in the end of last season, where we won against Man City and other teams. So to come back on this level is difficult, because the other teams are also getting better with transfers and everything. So we have to do something. We know this, and then it's easier for us to make the next step. Would be a difficult season. Everybody knows this. We are not speaking about any position in the end of the season. We know that it's a long journey, and there are some moments where you play fantastic, and there will come moments like now again where we are not so good, and this is not so surprising.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go to Tom Leach at Hampshire Live.
Hello, Ralph. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello. You've had a 4 weeks training with the boys this week for, I think, the first time you've had a chance to do that really this season. How have they responded to it? And have you been able to get things done this week that you would have normally done during pre-season?
Hopefully, yes. We worked on a few things. Yesterday was a very tense session. And yes, it was good to have them here. It was good to have them around you and can work on a few things. And yeah, this is definitely something we haven't had for lots of weeks. But this shouldn't be always an alibi to have an argument for a not perfect performance. But we must take the time now. We must take the time to work on a few things. And we have shown that we can play better, and we have shown that we can be more stabilized like in the last game, especially in the second half. And there's no reason not to come back to this point. And this is what we are aiming for. And guys are coming back. Stewie is fit. I think he showed in the last game that he has a big impact in our game. This is good for us. We didn't have him. He was in the international break and came back injured. So we missed the first two games in the cup and against Palace. And yeah, finally, we know that we have not so much alternatives in the moment. And this is the reason why we are looking for alternatives still.
And if I could just ask one about outgoings as well, is Sufjan Bafal, or maybe even Angus Gunn, who's been linked with a move this week, are they any closer to potentially leaving the club at the minute?
Again, as long as there's nothing finished, I don't want to speak about that. It doesn't make it easier. So you can be sure that there will be some changes in the next weeks. And as soon as there's something finalized, we will tell you.
Brilliant. Thank you, and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we're going to talk about the Sun.
Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
I want to ask about Che Adams. He obviously had a difficult season last year in terms of goal scoring, but he ended it really well. He hasn't scored so far this season. He had a couple, we're only a few games in, he had a couple of really good chances against Spurs and maybe should have taken them. Maybe there's a great save from Lloris. But I was wondering two things on him. One, how confident are you in his own confidence, his own not being fragile, not thinking, oh no, it's going to be like this again, like it was last year when nothing would go in. And, you know, how confident are you that he won't have a repeat of that last year and he will be regular goal scorer?
I'm very confident because I see how he's working every day and how much he invests for getting better and better. And yes, we cannot always speak about unluck in such moments. Yes, big save, Lloris, big save against Palace. It's really frustrating for him. He had a few chances, but also in some moments he took a little bit too long to finish it, or didn't take the right decision. And hopefully he scores as quickly as possible, because we know that sometimes strikers then get a little bit cramped. And this is what we don't want to have. Yeah, in the end of the season, he showed that he can score. And I'm sure, again, I would be more worrying if he doesn't come to any chances. Yeah? And I think as long as he comes to chances, I see it in the sessions every day that he can score. And we saw it last summer. And so there's no reason to not trust him. We have with Longy and Michael also two strikers. They are pushing hard to play, and they trained well this week. But also Ingzi and Shea in the front four. I think we have good alternatives, good guys. They can score. Everybody can score, and hopefully it's not so interesting for me who scores. It's important that we score, and I wish everybody can get the chance and can give something to the team.
Well, that's the importance, isn't it? I mean, from a good side of things, from the weekend, Danny got his first goals of the season, but yet you look at it, 3 games, only Danny's the one who scored. He's obviously your talisman, the main guy for goals. So that's not so surprising. But I think you have spoken before about the need to share out goals. So going back to his former club, Danny, this weekend, you'll be hoping, obviously he's on the score sheet, but maybe a few of the other guys can contribute a bit more.
Yeah, but I know that we have more guys to score than only Danny. I know that it's important for our game, and still also this season, our target man in front where we look to finalize. But yeah, as I said, we have more players, and I hope that we can create chances also for others to score. Stewie can score. Musa, I think he played a good game against Tottenham, especially in the first half and the second half. Didn't find a reverse gear anymore, but it's normal. He didn't play for a long time for this. I must say it was a good game. Trained well this week. And then also Prowsey is able to score.
Just finally, since you've been at Southampton and long before you were here, the club has been quite inconsistent with form, but the back end of last season felt like there was the plan was coming together, the consistency was starting to happen. You've mentioned reasons why maybe that's been difficult to carry on into this season, but is that just something that Southampton fans, players, anyone connected with the club is just going to accept, that at that level, the clubs you're competing against, that a strive for consistency is just always going to be difficult, and you're always going to see these fluctuating sort of periods of form?
I mean, this was for sure an extraordinary time when we are 7 games unbeaten, and this didn't happen since I'm here. But we don't have to speak too much about that. We know that the Premier League is tough. We know how much money other clubs invest in the summer to get better. So it's not such a coincidence that they then push a little bit harder and perform maybe better in the beginning of the season. We need a little longer to adapt to this level, and then hopefully are competitive again. So it's a nice dreaming if you think everybody goes so easy and switch it on again in the next season and then win again. So it's not like this. Who thinks it is like this? And I think it's too easy to think like that. And we are more realistic, and in the end, we know that it's in our club always a battle for staying in the league, and always a battle of getting as quick as possible with 40 points, and then we can look for more, like we did end of last season. And the 11th place in the table was fantastic for us, the best since 3 or 4 years, I think. And I don't see any reason why we cannot get this again. But it's only with hard work and with a better way to play like we did so far.